everybody, it's Jodi Faith with the Celebrating Canadians show, and it is an awesome privilege for me to be able to introduce to you our guest today, Mr. Bill desBarres.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm very fine. Thank you for inviting me.
Good. It's exciting to have you here. As our guests know, we've been talking about our Canadian heritage a little bit, how we came to Canada. We have different guests who've had totally unique and interesting circumstances, how they or their immediate ancestors maybe came to Canada. But you have the most unique story I've heard in a long time. Mr. desBarres, tell us how your people came to Canada.
First of all, I'm Bill.
Okay, Bill.
Yeah, I'm very proud of my ancestry. desBarres is a French name, and the family originated in France, and they were expelled from France because they were French Huguenots, French Protestants.
Oh, okay.
And that was in the early 1700s or mid 1700s.
Okay.
And they went through 2 or 3 other countries and finally got to England. And the desBarres family, some of them, and principally were aware of one individual, Joseph Frederick Wallet desBarres, who was commissioned by Queen Victoria to do some hydrography, oceanography off the coast of North America.
Okay.
And so he was born, and I have to refer to a book that was written by, and I guess we're supposed to give credit to authors, aren't we?
Yes, I think we should do that. Yeah.
And the author was the Uncommon Obituary and the Several Public Careers of J.F.W. desBarres by G.N.D. Evans. I don't know why everybody had 3 names in that day, but I inherited some of that uncommon problem.
Yes, you did. You have a wonderful name. You should tell the audience.
William Harold Laird desBarres.
It's very grand.
And every name is supposedly referencing some of my ancestors.
Okay. So you're going to help us figure out when it was that this fellow sort of landed on Canadian soil or North American soil?
Well, he was born in 1721.
Okay.
So it says, and he died in 1824. So he had a long life, 103 years, I guess that is, if my math is correct.
Yes.
And he was an optimistic guy, and he became a British colonial governor in the Maritimes in 1784.
Okay, so...
And again in 1804.
Okay, so by the late 1700s into the early 1800s, we know he was in Nova Scotia?
Yes.
Okay.
And in return for his work for the British government, they apparently surveyed the ocean floor.
Okay.
And the story goes that he and his crew, or commissioned people, discovered the banks off of Newfoundland.
Oh, okay. So the Grand Banks.
The Grand Banks.
Okay.
And I don't know what they used for equipment, of course, to survey the ocean bottom in the mid or late 1700s, but he was commissioned to survey the coast from somewhere off of New York to north of Newfoundland.
Okay.
And this book about him is interesting, to say the least.
Oh my gosh.
Full of stories, and it does speak of how our great country of Canada was put together. But notwithstanding, there was always, and Joseph Frederick Wallet desBarres was a rare kind of a dude. he got over 40,000 acres in the Maritimes
Okay.
granted to him
By the Queen.
by the Queen in return for
Wow.
his work. He didn't want money. Now, today we would say, give me land and maybe I can get out of paying income tax. I don't know whether they even had income tax in those times.
Sure.
I doubt if they did, but he was a commissioned governing person in various aspects of the Maritime provinces, and during the time when what is now Cape Breton Island and Prince Edward Island and the island of Prince Edward, as one might say, and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia borders were more defined.
Okay.
And so that was during that period of time. And I guess it was a bit of good luck that they were Protestant and got kicked out of France. Good luck for me, because I came to the Maritimes and was brought up there, or through his descendants, Sir Joseph Frederick Wallace desBarres descendants. And I'm a pretty lucky guy, I guess.
Now, when you were growing up, what comes to my mind is this: the simple question: were you guys farming this land that he
Not
had?
all of that 40,000 acres. That had disappeared long before I came along.
Okay, but you guys.
A little bit of it is still in the name of desBarres.
Okay.
And there is landmarks down there, like in Guysborough County. There's a place called desBarres Manor.
Okay.
And by coincidence, it hasn't been operated by members of the desBarres family for the last 10 or 15 years, but up to that time it was. And there is still some land that was granted to desBarres that is there, but it's pretty rocky, barren land, and it's not. There's some blueberries grow on it, and
Sure. Now, do you get to go back home occasionally? And
oh yes,
Yes?
yeah. I wouldn't say regularly, but irregularly, yes, and 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you're still connected, and you have family there still.
Oh, I have family there and land there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did a lot of your family end up coming west?
No.
No.
No. Some of the one of my father's brothers made his home in Stansted, Quebec,
Okay.
a small town that's right on the U.S. border. And another one of my father's brothers was in Paris, Ontario, just outside of Brantford, where
Okay.
he had a feedlot some years ago, and both of my uncles have long since passed. And one of my father's sisters was a nurse in a hospital in Montreal.
Okay.
But my father chose to stay in Nova Scotia, and he was, I guess, a successful man. I'm proud of him anyway.
Well, and so you should be, yes.
And my mother was a school teacher,
Okay.
and so my sister was a school teacher, and I have a daughter that's a school teacher. So
There you go. And where did you do your education after senior high? Did you go off to school, or did you do it locally?
Yes, but that's. I did education away and quite a lot of it. I'm pretty kind of blessed. I play the piano, so I played professional piano for a few years and earned some money to get some education, and I got it. So.
Oh, wow. Now that's a wonderful pioneering spirit kind of story, even in a nutshell right there, because a lot of people certainly didn't have the money to send their children to school, and you were able to put yourself through school a little bit with your piano.
Well, I had 3 siblings, and
Okay.
I was the oldest, and they were coming after me, so I don't recall any deals made by my mom and dad for education. We all worked, and we were taught responsibility, and
Yeah.
and
That's a wonderful thing. That is a wonderful
Yeah.
thing. So my question to you would be, how did you end up coming west, Bill?
Well, now that's the bad part of the story that I shouldn't be saying. But
Oh.
I have a mental problem with the Atlantic attitude.
Okay.
Never do anything today that you might do tomorrow.
Okay.
and I probably shouldn't be as critical as that, but that's the way it is. And so in the Maritimes, they live a wonderful, wonderful life, and I have 4 children there, and they are afflicted with the same poison, as it were, and they do very, very well. They're better off than I was at their age.
Sure.
But the syndrome is there, never do anything today. So I don't like the fast city life.
Okay.
That's another extreme.
Yes.
But I like to be active and do things, and sitting on the front step for the sake of sitting on the front step, I'm not quite pleasured with that.
Okay.
I would rather go rake or fix fence or do something.
Just keep busy. A
Yeah.
little bit busier. And so part of that desire brought you to the West?
It brought me away from the Maritimes,
Okay.
and I landed in the West by a number of coincidences, and I really enjoy Medicine Hat and the wonderful community that's here, and I am very proud to be able to take part in a number of activities within the community and work on some youth things and things like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to come back in the next half, and we're going to hear all about the kinds of activities and the community involvement that even yourself, you could get involved in, as Bill shares with us a little bit of what he keeps busy at. Hey everybody, we are back with Bill desBarres and a wonderful heritage of Canadian history and a legacy of being involved in community events and probably more importantly, Bill, if I'm hearing you correctly, just a desire to be involved and be kept busy doing good things. Is that a good way to kind of, I don't know,
I guess
explain who you are?
when you talk about good things, I'm greedy enough to say it'd be my definition of good.
Okay.
And good for me is working around things that influence youth.
Okay.
And situations that are community-oriented, people-oriented, and watching people grow. I think that's very fascinating.
Oh, wonderful. And as a mentor or someone who feels, really called to be coming alongside young people, what kind of organizations are you involved with specifically today with youth?
I use the Gas City Kiwanis Club
Okay.
as a tool
Sure.
to get to youth, because there are 3 Kiwanis clubs in town, and the Gas City Club does a lot of work with youth, and I'm wearing the Gas City neck piece and shirt today just to show it off.
There you go.
Through Gas City Kiwanis, I get involved with 4-H,
Okay.
the Terrific Kids programs in elementary schools, and a lot of things like that, and events in the community, such as bringing some children to banquet-type suppers at special times of the year, such as Christmas.
Nice.
And dealing with people who would not otherwise be able to have such a celebration or enjoy such a celebration as that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And that makes me feel good.
Absolutely. Now, if people wanted to volunteer with some of the outreach stuff that you do with the Gas City Club, are they welcome to be part of something like that?
Of course, we would invite people to become members of the Gas City Kiwanis Club.
Okay.
I'm on the board of directors, but I'm not the president or anything like that. I have been an officer in the club, and I've been in the club since 1976. What's that? 41 years.
That is.
Is
yeah,
it?
It
Yeah.
is 41 years.
Yeah, when I moved to
Wow.
Medicine Hat, I looked at various service clubs, and I liked what Gas City Kiwanis was doing, and a lot of the people in it were lots with the same sort of community feelings that I
Sure.
enjoy.
Sure.
Gas City Club got involved and built Safety City, which is now the Southeastern Alberta Safety Alliance Society, and
Now is that the one where they used to teach kids how to bike and be safe? Is that
still do?
Okay.
Still do. Yes.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes. And the Gas City Club is the club that arranged to acquire the old Elizabeth Street School from the city,
Okay.
and make it into a building that can house and not-for-profit organizations for their meetings.
Okay.
And like there's a martial arts organization in there.
Okay.
The Lapidary Club is there. The
Okay.
Medicine Hat Boxing Club's home is in that building.
Wonderful.
And of course the Gas City Club has their regular meetings there.
Sure.
And along with many other organizations that have their meetings. So I enjoy the attitude of that particular club, and I use it as a greedy person to get to participate in community events. And I'm also involved with the Medicine Hat District Live Music Club since
Yes.
its inception in 1991.
Okay.
And that's a great pleasure for me to watch young people grow into music, and to give people an opportunity to be on a stage and to present their talents, and to grow and to become more confident
Absolutely.
in what they're doing. So I really enjoy that involvement.
Absolutely. I myself sing professionally. I've been on the road for this last at least 15 years. I've been on the road singing. But in my first marriage, I was actually forbidden from singing. I wasn't allowed to sing. And so as an adult, I actually met my husband in the principal's office, Mr. Robert Faith. He was the principal at Eagle Butte High School. And my son was visiting him one day, and I got to know Bob that way. But Bob would start encouraging, oh, Bill, you guys are having a birthday party. Jodi will sing for you. Oh, Leanne, Jodi will sing for you. And I had very little confidence. And I understand that the Live Music Club really is about not just youth, but anyone in the community coming out and doing the jam sessions. Let's talk a little bit about that, because from my perspective, I think that a simple jam session is a really great way to learn how to play, maybe sing a little, be part of the community circle, right? Let's talk about those nights.
Well, from September until June, the Live Music Club has Tuesday night jams.
Right.
It's called the Elks Jam,
Okay.
because it's in the Elks Hall.
Down on Riverside there? Is
Down
that
on
the one?
Riverside,
Okay.
yeah. We just had our last jam of this season.
Okay.
In September, early September, I think September the 5th, if I'm not mistaken, is the first Tuesday of
The new session.
the new
starts, right?
session. And the jams start at 7:30, and everybody is welcome.
Okay.
Everybody is welcome.
Okay.
But if you want to get the newsletter and participate, then you join and you become a
Okay.
member.
Okay.
And we're very, very proud of the influence that we've had on youth. Over the years, we've had some special youth programs, some incidental youth programs, and been able to help some youth get more confidence in their musicianship. Some of them have become composers.
Oh, wow.
I can recall individuals that are now professional musicians that we were able to help them with experience. And of course, they had teachers
Sure.
in the city as well.
Yeah,
But the teaching process is indeed the teaching process.
it is.
And when you want to practice what you have learned in the public, that's not necessarily provided through a teaching program. So
Absolutely.
we're very fortunate to be able to allow some of the individuals who want to come out, and could be anybody, to get some experience on stage in presenting, not only presenting their music, but presenting themselves.
Sure.
And do it in a relaxing time among friends.
Yes, yeah.
At a jam. If you wanted to come and sing, you would pick who you want to play with you or accompany you or not.
Okay. You wouldn't actually say, okay, I don't want Bill playing. I would prefer her. You wouldn't say not.
Why not?
Would you?
If you want to,
oh my
sure.
gosh, you'd have to have a lot more
no, it's
self-confidence than I have.
No, it's a very
That's awesome.
it's I'm not going to say it's light. It's serious. We take everybody takes everybody serious. At the same time, you need to learn how to be diplomatic and say, you know, I want this person to play with me. And
so that really is part of what you're mentoring them with.
To learn to have the confidence to select and choose how you're going to present yourself in the best way possible.
Okay, so back to this jamming, it's not just for people who play an instrument.
Oh no, if you want to...
They can come out and sing. They can come out and learn how to play an instrument or...
Well, we don't teach instrumentation.
No, but you know what I mean. If you're
if
sitting
you
around
are
in
learning.
a circle, it's a nice way to learn how to play your instrument better sometimes.
We sometimes have circle jams.
Okay.
Where everybody sits in a circle and plays.
Okay.
And that's mostly for stringed instruments.
Okay.
But the jams usually are somebody might come in if they want to do 3 songs.
Okay.
Whether it's instrumental or voice or combination.
Okay.
And many of our members are combination. They play the guitar and sing, or they play the violin, and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Sure. Now, do you have an actual MC each evening that puts...
a club member.
Okay.
A club member helps line up the people that are going to present that night.
Okay, yes.
That evening. And it's just a friendly gathering, and some people come just to listen.
Sure. Oh, there's always people who just enjoy the music. So do you guys still have a mobile stage?
We have a portable sound stage.
Okay, because I remember being part of a few events, maybe down at King Cooley, where it was a remarkable idea. How did that come about?
A number of years ago, some of the not-for-profit organizations were wanting to have musicians present.
Okay.
And the Live Music Club is committed to facilitating presentation by musicians for the sake of their experience and so on and so forth. And Medicine Hat is a very, very musical city. Very, very, southeastern Alberta and southwestern Saskatchewan, very musically saturated.
Okay.
And a lot of great musicians, a lot of good entertaining musicians. So we wanted to have a place so that we could put people on the stage. So the trailer was, we drew a picture and took it out to Bruce Matt at Bruce's RV.
Okay, yes, yeah.
And said, Bruce, can you build this? We want to have a full stage. And so he designed it, engineered it. He is an engineer and great community guy, and so he built the stage. It is a 23-foot stage by 15 feet deep.
Right.
And the front of the stage moves out hydraulically and moves up hydraulically so that you have a full stage. And there's a full sound system on there developed by Al's Audio. Dave Tommy and his crew from Al's Audio designed the sound system and put it on the stage. And built it in, so it's fully equipped. It's got all of the amplifiers and the microphones and the lighting and everything you need for a stage.
Sure. Now I'm assuming with the Live Music club, you would also be inviting people to come on out and join you, either as members or do you have a website or anything where they can get connected, or could we have them call you directly?
Well, they could call myself or
Okay.
or some. I'm through my office at 526-1070. I'm available, and I can answer questions or steer them in the direction where they need to go.
Okay,
But
let's just give them your number again. 526.
1070 526-1070.
There we go. And that's for anybody, young people, old people.
Yeah, and
Very intergenerational.
You know, and I'm being very generous at this time, but I have to say that we can't please everybody all of the time, but we can try.
There you go. Okay.
And but yeah, for stage performances on the stage, when we go to the co-op Stampede Breakfast, for instance,
Right.
members arrange through the club that they are going to present
Okay.
there and do 2 or 3 or 4 numbers or
Wonderful.
whatever. And so a variety of musicians, and nobody gets paid.
There we go.
It's all volunteer work, and it's just community. It's just
Sounds wonderful.
it's just fun.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you want to be busy doing. From that young lad who came out west hoping to keep busier, you're really doing a great job of it. Thank you for your
I'm having
contribution.
fun. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill desBarres and the Kiwanis Club, the Live Music Club, just a wonderful opportunity to get to know you a little bit. Bill, thank you. And what an amazing story. We want to remind you that if you do have a story of ancestry and Canadian celebration kinds of things, we'd love to hear from you too. Have a wonderful day.